Alright, if you're like me, then you are a fan of the film Blade Runner. I think it's one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made. Obviously, it stars my favorite actor, Harrison Ford. I think it's way ahead of its time, and it brings up a bunch of interesting questions about humanity. It also contains one of the most iconic uh, weapons set in a sci-fi universe, besides a lightsaber, which doesn't count because Star Wars is not science fiction. And that gun would be Harrison Ford's pistol. Now, it's a highly sought after prop. The real prop is a real functioning prop. Um, it's very expensive. It costs into the thousands of dollars. If you get a 3D printed prop um, that you have to put together, glue, sand, finish, and paint, it will cost you over $100. I mean, I've seen some that go for 500, 600. Um, so there is a cheaper option, which I did. Um, if you're in the United States, you can go on eBay, and between $55 and $65, you can get a very accurate prop um, and do a little work on it yourself, and it'll come out really good. So I'm going to show you what I did, and let's get started. All right, so here we are. This is my first prop and attempt to make this weapon. Um, okay, so I'll show you the basic painting process I went through. Um, this top receiver is painted with gunmetal gray metallic acrylic. This grip is painted on the inside with antique copper metallic acrylic. This is also metallic gray, gunmetal gray, with a little bit of, what is this, sequin black metallic acrylic added in to give this a little darker appearance. This part, it's hard to tell with the lighting here, but this is supposed to be black, and that is sequin black metallic. Came out really nice. And then we have sterling silver metallic acrylic, and that goes on the inside of the receiver here. I put some across here. There's some right here, and you're going to put it on the pommel of your grip. Now, I did all this with brushes. It took, about a week. The thing with acrylic painting on plastic is it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of fine handiwork, which I'm not that great at because my hands shake pretty bad. If you can tell, the video's shaking a bit. That's because my hands shake. So it took a lot of work, it took a lot of practice, it took a lot of going back over and repainting parts that I messed up on. But the overall result came out really nice. I especially like the bolt here. What I did with that is I painted that sterling silver metallic, and I put some black on the inside so that this outer part looks all like worn metal from years of use. I added in details. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see them very well. I took some of that metallic copper and put it along here to give it a slightly rusted look. There's some here, and there's some here. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. There you go. Because I want this to look like a worn prop, a used weapon. So that's what I did. I also wanted to give this a shine, so I just took clear protective nail polish and put it on here. I put like two slight, very light coats on it. And that's pretty much what you get. These red LED, LED, they're not real LEDs, they're just little pieces of plastic, but they come with the water gun prop. You have to glue them in there, which is a little tedious of a process. But yeah. Okay, so let's flip this over. Again, gunmetal gray with some black mixed in, metallic black, and copper grips here. I also added in a little bit of metallic sterling silver here to just give it that white look. If you look at the original prop, it has that. Okay, so now I'm gonna briefly cover the grips because I find this very important, and I've looked at people's props online, and they always seem to mess this up. If you look at the prop from the film, the grip is translucent, and when you get this prop water gun, it comes with an orange translucent grip. But the problem is it's too bright and it's too see-through, and it looks very cheap. So what most people do is they usually just leave it, or they paint over it and give it a darker appearance that usually looks really crappy. So what I did for this one is I painted the grip of the gun without the grip itself. I painted it. I also painted the inside. You don't want to paint the outside of this because it's going to look really bad. But you're going to want to paint the inside of this grip. I'm going to hold it up against the light, and that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have to do 2 or 3 coats. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience, but I think it's worth it in the end. So now when you put it on, it looks semi-translucent. It has that really nice amber color, and it's fairly easy to do, and it makes the prop look so much better. Alright, now let's go over to my second prop. Okay, so this is my second prop. Excuse the shakiness. Like I said, my hands shake. This is all spray painted, minus this and minus that, because I got impatient and used acrylic, which I need to redo, but I can't because it's currently snowing outside. So, when I do get around to it, I'm going to use this metallic, it doesn't say the color, but obviously you can see what color it is. It's a very close silver. Alright, so, if you can see here, this metallic receiver paint that I used, metallic paint I used on the receiver, it has tiny little dots in it, and it gives it a much more metallic look than the other prop. And the paint I used for that is a Rust-Oleum Universal Metallic Paint and Primer Flat Soft Iron, which I definitely recommend for any metallic projects where you want something to look metal, because it just comes out looking so nice. So what I did is I took the grips off and I painted the whole thing with that flat soft iron. I let it dry for 24 hours. Then I painted it on, I taped it off, and then I painted this and this color, Rust-Oleum Metallic. It's called Midnight Black, and it's really not that much different than this flat soft iron, but it is a little different depending on the lighting, and I think it's worth it. Just gives it a different tone than this. Then for this plastic part on the gun, on the prop, it's a plastic piece. I used Rust-Oleum paint and primer, black gloss. Gives it that nice shiny finish, makes it look like that hard plastic. Again, here we have those fake LED lights. So yeah, that's basically it. Take your time, be patient. Don't overspray the spray paint because it'll drip and it'll wreck your project. Also, like I said, take your time. Make sure you leave at least 24 hours between a certain color and the next color, because when you tape it off, if you tape it off too early on fresh paint that hasn't dried for 24 hours, when you take that tape off, it's going to pull off the paint with it. And then you might as well just start all over. Okay, so let's focus on the grips on this gun compared to this one. As you can see, this is very much darker amber, and it's not very translucent. This is much lighter. Now, how I achieved that, I don't know if you can tell. It looks a lot different in real life compared to on the video. But, as I said, with this grip, I painted the inside. With this one, I left it translucent. And I didn't paint this at all. So this is how you're going to receive it in the water gun package that you get. But I did paint this, that metallic copper acrylic. And so what happens is when you put this on, see how it's too orange? Now it has an amber color. And what happens is the light comes through this translucent grip. It hits the undercoat of the copper metallic, and then it bounces back out, giving this a translucent, beautiful, perfect, movie accurate grip compared to this one. Obviously, you can do what you want. It's actually easier to do it this way because you don't have to paint the inside of this, which takes forever. So yeah, and then we have some small detailing. These lighter paint colors is with that sterling silver acrylic that I added on with brushwork, just to give it small details, like here as well, just to give it a worn appearance. I also did it here, there, there. I did a little bit along here. You can't really see it because then I wiped it off with a wet paper towel. But the thing with detailing is you want it to be less is more. So start out with as little as you can, and if it doesn't look good, continue doing it. If you start out with too much, it's going to look very fake and it's going to look terrible. So you want to start out small and continue to build off of that. Of course, you don't have to weather it at all. I like to add small details. Like I said, I'm detail oriented, so that's what I did. This bolt, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I do like how it turned out on this one with the acrylic, and then with the nail polish, clear nail polish. So I might do it on this, but I'm not sure yet. So this is 99% done. I just have to do this with spray paint and this with spray paint. But this is pretty much what it's going to look like finished. One thing I did with both of these is where the water reservoir is here, you can put sand in it to give it that weight. And so this is all filled with sand. I didn't fill this with sand because I ran out, but you can make this stand on its own, which is kind of cool. But it still feels really lightweight and kind of weird. So with this one, I filled this with sand, and I filled this with sand. And how you fill this with sand is you take off the front. You're going to have to drill it out, which is pretty easy. And then you're going to fill it with sand. And then when you get near the top, what you're going to do is you're going to fill it with hot glue to keep the sand from coming out. I did the same thing here as well. And it has so much weight to it. It feels like a really nice prop. It just has that heftiness to it, and it doesn't feel like a cheap piece of plastic. So that's how I did this one. If you guys have any better techniques, please leave comments below. If you like this video, click like, and you can share it as well. So yeah, there's my 2 props, and I'll see you guys next time.